Okay, so if you watched our earlier video on the Back to Eden garden process, we just filled this in with the mulch wood chips, and we had stuff, well, there it is there, in little cups and stuff like that that we tried to save from the garden that we tilled that failed miserably. So anyways, we replanted some of the stuff, and within a few weeks, boy, this stuff just took off now. So we got a little melon growing there. We're in the middle of July, and unfortunately, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. So yeah, these are all melons. I think they're like honeydews and stuff like that. My wife planted some watermelon seeds here, and in 2 days they sprouted. Unbelievable. 2 days they sprouted. I come out here to water some of the other stuff, and I noticed they were coming out of the ground. Incredible. So anyways, this is my Italian squash, and I'll show you what one looks like. Here's a baby one right here. How these grow is you have the male flower, which is, this is the male flower. Now the male flower is just a stem and a flower, and the female is a stem with a little squash and the flower. And what you do is you hand pollinate them if you don't want to wait for the bees to do it. So you would take the male flower, you would open it up, and then you would put it into the female flower, and you know, they exchange their pollen. Here's a female right here. But I'll show you what they look like. This one's a little bigger. Getting there. This one I hand pollinated also. And here we got one right here. These will grow about, the prime time to eat them is about 2.5 feet long. When they start getting about 3 feet or longer, they start getting, the outside starts getting really hard and they get seedy. So save them for seed, let them grow out to 3, 4. These things will go 4 or 5 feet long. It's incredible. Here's another one here. But yeah, these are awesome. My dad used to grow these when I was a kid. We're from Sicily, so this is something really big in our family, and they're delicious too. If you cook these cucuzzas, that's what they're called, cucuzza. You take a potato peeler and you peel off the skins, and then you chop them up in chunks with onions chopped up in chunks, and tomatoes also in chunks, and with some garlic, and you put them in a pot and then cook them down for like a half hour, and it turns into like a stew with some olive oil, of course. And they cook them down and it turns into like a stew. You can put them on your pasta, your chicken breast, you know, whatever. Delicious. But anyways, my next process now, we're gonna put I'm gonna put some more wood chips in here to build it up. Some areas are a little thin, so we're gonna do that next. Okay. Keep going on down. Alright, they just delivered 72 cubic yards of this mulch here, or wood chips really I should say, and this is 12 cubic yards of this black fine it's called. It's mulch, it's already broken down pretty much. I have another garden I'm putting it in. So yeah, we're gonna put this stuff here on top of here to thicken it up a little bit. We have some thin areas. This is our other small garden. We're gonna put the mulch in here, and I got a pile of wood chips there that I'm going to throw on top. But we already threw in hay, so we're gonna put this hay and the wood chips on top. And this garden here, we're just basically gonna do it to more of the, I think more herbs, you know, the cilantro, parsley, and rosemary, and maybe some green onions and stuff like that we use a lot. Yeah, so and I put some grapes here. These are muscine, I think they're called, grapes, but they're more like your wild kind of grapes. And I got some raspberries there, but one unfortunately died. But I'm going to put the wood chips in here next so we can get this thing going. If you're new to the Back to Eden gardening method, you can use any type of organic material that you have. You can use leaves, hay, wood chips. I used hay and wood chips. I laid a layer of hay down, mulch, which is broken down wood chips, and then I have also on top of this I'm going to put another layer of maybe 2 or 3 inches of regular wood chips, and they'll start breaking down later. When you're ready to plant, what you do is you move the wood chips out of the way until you hit the ground, and then put your seed in the ground. Keep it that way until it sprouts. And once it sprouts and the plant gets, you know, about so big, then you can push the mulch and the wood chips around it. Or if you can start your seeds inside and you can get an early start, once your plants get, you know, 5-6 inches tall or whatever, what I do is move the chips out of the way, make like a little hole, and put some manure and compost in that hole, and put your plant right in there and then cover it right up. And then the roots will eventually, they'll go out, they'll find their way down to the ground. The beautiful thing about the wood chips or leaves or whatever you're going to use, especially the wood chips though, you don't have to water it as much. If you get at least 1 day a week of rain, that's plenty. Because what happens is, once it rains or you water your garden, your wood chips, the wood chips absorb all that moisture. Plus, all that soaks through into the ground. This acts as a covering, of course, and it doesn't allow the moisture to come back out. So we didn't have, my other garden over there, we didn't have rain, or we haven't had rain in about 3 weeks, and the mulch looked really dry. So what I did is I dug down a little bit, a few inches, and it was nice and moist under there. So it really holds that moisture. So I would urge anybody and everybody to use the Back to Eden gardening. Well, I got, I think this should do it, just to give it a nice top coat over the old mulch. I can probably spread some of it with my tractor, but I have, as you can see over here, I got stuff planted already, so I'm going to have to do it with that pitchfork. And then over there I got my squash growing. I got to throw it in between there too. And I got melons over here. But the rest of it's going to have to be done by hand. Luckily the stuff is very fluffy and light, and it shouldn't take that long. It shouldn't be that bad. I'm just going to wait till that sun goes down a little bit because it's 100 degrees out here today. I got tomato plants here, so I got to do this by hand. Like I said, the stuff is very light, it's very fluffy, so it shouldn't take too long. Originally I had about 4 to 5 inches of mulch. I'm only going to put like 2 or 3 more on top, or whatever it comes out to. So that should be good enough. Well, we're pretty much done. I decided just to put this extra bit of wood chips on top. I still have quite a pile left over there. I'm going to put that around my trees. I got some fruit trees in the front of my property, way out that way. And I'll put them around those. But yeah, I mean, we're in the middle of July right now. At least now we'll be ready for next year. This stuff will start breaking down through the winter, and boy, as soon as March comes around, then by the end of March is our last freeze or frost. I think the 3rd week of March usually. And yeah, we'll be ready to plant then, and this soil underneath this will be ready. Alright guys, let me know what you guys think. Please like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you.